I saw an interesting tweet the other day of somebody asking, why are people not watching Miami? And the answers were interesting. It wasn't a lot of negativity. It was a lot of people saying, I don't know where to start because of the gap, and I'm not sure when it got good. Should I start at season 2, season 4, whatever? A lot of people's reasoning is just simply they haven't gotten around to it.
Interesting. I think a lot of that falls on Bravo for not promoting it right.
I agree.
That's probably the biggest
shows, bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows, bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Studio Goots. Welcome back.
Feels good to be back.
Studio.
Nice tan. Car fixed, I think. I don't know. We'll find out.
Just in time for me to take my truck in.
There we go. That's what we want to do. But yeah, feels good to be back. We're a little delayed on this Miami episode, but you'll have it before tomorrow night's episode or tonight's episode, whatever it might be. Just wanted to make sure that you guys had that before, just to give you some context, you know?
You're going to have 2 Miami episodes in 1 week. How about that?
How about that?
I still love this show. I think it's amazing. If you're listening, I'm going to do this every week because we're doing our best to promote this show and get more people to watch it. We are not paid to do this. This is easily one of the better Housewives franchises out there. So if you're listening to this and not watching the show, start with last season or the season before that and go from there. This show rocks. The cast is amazing. The drama's great. They're all actually friends, so everything's real or as real as it can be. Stop avoiding the show.
Stop avoiding the show. I thought you were going to keep going there. I guess not.
No,
it really is. It's the quintessential housewife show. It's everything that you want, with deep-rooted friendships to very campy to just real things that happen within a friend group.
Yes.
Not, nothing fabricated, nothing like, okay, we know that these two don't hang out on camera. They're playing it up for the camera. Everything seems super genuine, even down to Larsa, because I truly believe that Larsa is who she is on this show.
I agree. That's the funny thing when it comes to Larsa. You know how I feel about her. Not a huge fan.
No.
But I recognize what she does for the show.
Yeah. I think she's incredibly authentic.
She is. Like, that's actually, it's ironic because her inauthenticity is authentic.
Yes.
Which is bizarre to say, but like this character that she has created is not a character for the show. It is a character for her life.
Correct. I think it's really funny and kind of telling that right now what's going on with this show, at least in this season, is everybody questioning a situation in which we haven't seen Julia do this before.
Yeah.
It seems completely out of character for her to do this, and now it's a big talking point.
I know. Look, I don't know if this has to do with the kids and the massive shift in her life. Obviously, the tragic story of her one child that passed away from shaken baby syndrome could easily be playing into this whole thing. She's feeling a certain way because she now has 2 kids back in her house. So I don't know. I don't want to throw that out the window because obviously that's probably contributing to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do have to address what the hell is going on with her because it's like a different person, honestly.
It's a different person, and I'm wondering what the hell's going on, mostly because we could have chalked it up after the end of episode 1 or 2 and said, well, this is completely out of character. That's weird. And yeah, we would still kind of be left picking up the pieces of why is she doing this? Is there other things that are affecting it? Instead, what we're doing is showing more information about Guerdy and her's relationship.
Yep.
So now we're trying to put 2 and 2 together. They're giving us more, I don't even want to call it evidence. They're giving us more context, I guess.
Somewhat.
In case you want to go down the road of, okay, maybe Guerdy is at fault, which we're not.
Not even remotely.
Unless there is more evidence that shows that, which there isn't at this moment. But they're at least giving you that outlet. Like, okay, if you're a big Julia fan and you really don't understand what's going on, here's Guerdy's take on the situation. And if you see enough there, you can take Julia's side if you want to. It's interesting. They're not doing like an edit.
Yeah, no,
to
you're right.
Push us one way or another. They're just showing us things. Sometimes it's taken completely out of context, and sometimes it's, loosely connected.
I know. It's just, and if you're hearing the thunder, there's a massive thunderstorm right now.
Not a new soundboard thing that Steele figured out.
No, we just got hit with a tornado warning, which means that a tornado has touched down somewhere near us. And here's a little public service announcement. Tornado watch versus tornado warning. A watch means that the conditions are conducive for a tornado. Or tornado warning means that one has touched down within your area.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might die, but we continue on.
We die doing what we love.
Damn right. Bam, 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 bam. Dying doing what we love. Recapping Miami and blowing air horns, baby. But it's a good point you made as we jump into this episode, because we start out with the Julia and Gertie situation. And the thing is, they are presenting us context, but the context seems so clearly in Gertie's favor.
Yeah.
That it's hard to even think that anybody could be Team Julia through this thing. She's even retelling what happened and saying that she had water thrown in her face. Julia, that's a lie.
It's a lie. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And that wasn't just like her misspeaking. That was just a blatant lie.
So, like, I've grown to love Julia over the past few years. And it's a bizarre switch up. And you get this like montage of like Guerdy saying that she attacked her, and Gertie's really upset about this whole thing, obviously, because the whole thing was so bizarre. And she's setting up her house for Halloween. I guess she's a big Halloweener because her son's a big Halloweener. I mean that in an endearing way.
Mm-hmm.
So the house
on the wieners.
Yeah. Well, no, Halloween-y.
Halloweeny.
Halloweenist.
Halloweenist.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Halloweenist. That's good. Yeah, they're Halloweenists.
Sounds
So Liam,
Something wrong about that. Yeah. I don't.
they like Halloween.
Okay. There we go.
They're fans of the holiday.
Yep. They're not pagans.
Right. Well,
Right. That's where I was going with Halloweenist.
okay, I
That's
got
like
it.
paganism and then
Satanism?
going on there.
What the hell's going on? What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. They're decorating for Halloween, and you get Russell talking to Gertie, and she's filling him in about the whole Julia situation. And we can sum this up because we're going back and forth between Martina and Julia, Russell and Gertie. Gertie is genuinely distraught about this whole thing. She feels degraded, violated, because it was an embarrassing thing that happened. Julia literally stood over her and screamed at her and threw water in her face.
Yes.
So she, rightfully so, feels a type of way about it. Meanwhile, Julia is trying to place blame on Gertie. She's like, she messed up Marysol's wedding, and Gertie's making everything difficult. And it's like, Gertie walked in there, and how did that even pop up? Oh, yeah, she's like, do you want to go talk about it?
Yeah, and she didn't want to go talk about it. She wanted to stay with the group. I thought that these two scenes side by side were pretty telling from the partner's perspective.
Yeah,
Because the way that Russell was talking about Julia, it looked to me that he doesn't really like Julia.
doesn't care for her.
Does not care for her. And the way that Martina was talking about Gertie, it seems like she's easily written off.
But I don't...
Okay, whatever. I don't,
Is that...
that could just be Martina's demeanor because
That's
she
what I'm
does
saying.
that a lot. But there was a little bit more to it where she was talking. You know how we get a scene with Martina?
Mhm.
She won't say a word, and you're like, all right, she's just fed up. She doesn't want to deal with this shit.
Yep.
This was more talking from her, which tells me that specifically she doesn't like Gertie.
Okay,
So
that's
there's
fair.
more here, and we always thought that Julia and Gertie were cool. That we always thought that they were friends. Gertie came over to Julia's farm last season or the season before. One of the only people who's actually gone to the farm.
Yep.
So there were different things that made us think, wow, it sounds so cool.
I hope
that goes through the microphone. But there were different things that would have led us to believe, okay, yeah, they're really good friends. It's one of the good friends in the group at this point. And the way that people are talking about them from side by side, it's like, were they not really close? Were they not friends? Did their partners never really like their friendship? Is there more here? Is there a deep-rooted issue that neither of them is talking about? I think Julia would talk about it if she could put it into words at this point. She's just kind of trashing Gertie openly. Gertie's just reacting to what Julia's been doing. So it's a very convoluted situation.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think you bring up a good point, and I think that's true of any friendship. Like, obviously, they don't know all the ins and outs that's going on.
Yeah.
We're only privy to certain things on the screen. Could they have grown apart over the past few years? Or, is Julia going home and venting to Martina about a Gertie issue and vice versa? So now their partners are like, I don't want to hear it anymore. So maybe that's what it is. But they are having their baby shower, and they decide to invite Gertie, which we're all for. Even though there's a feud, everybody should go to events. We should have all parties present. So in case things pop off, such as last week, over Lisa, that person should be there to defend themselves. So I'm glad that they did that. Like, that was a big move, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's an important move. But we have a newbie. And her name's Stefanie. Shojae?
I was saying Shohei,
Shohei.
but I have no idea.
Steph.
Steph.
It's
It's
Steph.
a new housewife.
Guys,
a
it's
Larsa friend.
Steph. It's a Larsa friend. And look, we want wealth on these shows. Is this the way I want wealth on the show? I don't know yet. The jury's still out for me. I'm not sure if I love or hate Steph yet.
I don't know. I am excited at the prospect of her being a Caroline Stanberry friend.
Sure.
Because I do get those types of vibes from her. That's what Caroline always did in, Ladies of London, and then she did it in Dubai for what we saw from Dubai before that was canned. So I like the vibes I'm getting. I originally was not excited about her being a Larsa friend at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I've seen all I need to see.
But is it a Larsa friend, or is it similar to a Bronwyn in Salt Lake where people claim to be friends, but then it all starts falling apart?
It could. She definitely has the demeanor of somebody that could just start deflecting a little bit and like kind of clearing her way from Larsa, because it sounds like their friendship started because Caroline wanted them to meet.
Yeah.
And Stefanie was like, I don't really want to meet somebody. I don't really care about that, which I'm all for, by the way.
Sure.
I've got enough friends. I don't need any more. Don't introduce me to
Just
other
like
people.
personally, like you.
No, it just resonated with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't need any more. I'm good. I'm good over here. I'm gonna go take my jet to go pick up my dogs.
You still talking about you?
City. Yes, still talking about me. But at the end of the day, Larsa does need people to film with.
Sure.
I am very tired of her just on the phone by herself or talking to her kids or talking to her mom.
Yeah, it's a tough look.
Other people need to be around her, and it seems like right now she's just a social friend for the people on the show, which doesn't bode well for her.
It's pretty crazy. Like the first 3 episodes or 2 episodes, we literally got her trying to find anybody to film with to push her storyline forward, and that was her mom and her kids.
Yeah.
Her son had zero interest in being on the show. He was just trying to focus on his fashion show. And look, we see moms a lot, but the back-to-back of family members in individual scenes just goes to show you she doesn't have a friend.
Yeah.
So if that's who this person is in Steph, like, okay, fine. I'm here for that to see.
At least initially.
Yeah. And like
See how it shakes out.
could wear thin pretty quick. I'm not sure. She has potential to really get on my nerves. I'm not going to lie, but I will hold out.
I agree in the way of like always saying what designer she's wearing.
Yes. Like just, I am all about
Quiet
having wealth.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with in your face a little bit.
A little bit. It's Miami, so it's going to be in your face
Right.
a little bit, just not in, by way
Every
of an
single
atrocious-
sentence doesn't need to be about wealth. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
And she did that at the baby shower too. Like,
Yeah.
It's just a game,
Right.
I got it on my Versace. Like, just say your dress.
Yeah, and like maybe it's her coming in, I always tread lightly with making.
Coming in a little strong.
Yeah, she could be coming in strong. I'm not going to cast judgment yet. We'll see how she does. I'll wait.
I'm just of the thought process of these women on this show are all about fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got a whole scene of both Lisa and Larsa being in Milan for a fashion show. You're not going to have to scream that you have a Versace dress on.
Right.
You can just say my dress, and they're going to know from afar, like, ooh, that's Versace. That's expensive.
Yeah.
If they bring it up, then you can start talking about
Money
it. You know what
talks,
I mean?
wealth whispers.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it.
Ah, baby. But the PJ, they're on a PJ, and I don't know what this sentence means. You must love me to fly private with me. What?
I don't
What do you
get it.
I don't get it either.
Larsa thought they were, which I don't believe for a
Not at
second.
all. I thought we were going to
Nobody
the mall.
thinks we're just
Shut
going
up.
to lunch. Like, no.
She goes, I thought we were going to the mall.
At what point did your Uber driver take you to an airstrip? And you're like, this isn't the mall.
Oh, this isn't KOP. What the hell's going on here?
Knowing Larsa, though, she's like, this is so cool. We're going to do this. And now, apparently, she's afraid of flying, though. as she
Oh, really?
says in
Oh,
the
yeah,
scene,
that's
yeah.
right.
I like it as an introduction. It's a weird thing, actually. I like it as an introduction. If she does it all the time, it's going to be annoying with
Yeah.
the PJ and all that shit. But a season down the line, if she's still doing it and she's consistent with like, yeah, we're just going to hop on the plane and we're just going to go to Orlando, which is like an hour and a half drive away, but we're going to be there in 2 minutes. I'm okay with that. Keep
Orlando's
doing
further than that,
it.
but yeah, I hear what you're
exactly,
saying.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
great with Miami or
Florida distances.
Florida distances. Yeah, it's a weird shaped state. We've got a rectangle up here in Pennsylvania. It's pretty easy. To
Much
figure shit
easier to
out.
navigate for sure. But I guess her husband owns a construction company that builds like everything
Commercial
in
real
Miami.
estate, I thought.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It was confusing.
She was talking about apartments and like the number of.
I thought he built the apartments.
think it's probably both.
Okay, maybe it's
Maybe
both.
it's both. He started in the 80s.
He appears to have a lot of money.
Yes, he
Okay.
does.
So the one line that really stuck out to me, everyone in life gets a little help.
Mm-hmm.
Nuh-uh. What the fuck?
Completely out of touch. Just how I like my housewives.
That's a good, yeah. Like, I wasn't even that upset at it because I was like,
No.
okay, if that's where you're coming from. The
Yeah.
thing is consistency. If she maintains this, I can get on board. If we see fluctuations and I'm like, oh, that's not who you are,
Yeah.
that's when it's going to piss me off. But Lars is giving updates to Steph about the group, like the Lisa update. And I guess at some point, Steph and Lisa shared a glam squad, or she let her use her glam squad at one point. We're having a lot of issues with glam squads.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like the new thing.
yeah, in Atlanta. Is that the new thing? What was it before? We always have tropes. I guess Glam Squad sharing is the one this year.
Well, the OG was in Roni back in the day. They were hooking up with the same guys.
Oh, yeah. I
I can't. They just brought him back up in Love
Tom?
Hotel. Tom something.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
I forget. But she also fills her in about the Guerdy and Julia whole, like that whole thing. So Steph's kind of up to speed. She's also probably a little wary about what to expect the next time she gets together with the group. But she gets off the jet, and of course, Larsa has to FaceTime somebody from the PJ.
Gotta.
You gotta face.
Where are you?
Ooh, I'm trying. Oh, whoops! I dropped
She
my
just
phone.
said we were going to lunch. Isn't that quirky and crazy?
That's so wacky.
Yeah.
But Marysol fills Larsa in about the Todd Alexia situation. And I guess Todd had asked the judge for a 3-month extension on the divorce decree. So that whole thing's,
This is going to be a whole season.
I
of
don't
this
need
shit.
it.
It's going to be though.
But
You already
that's
know
not
it.
a storyline.
It's not.
Divorces don't work as storylines. I'm sorry. You can fill us in. I want to know. But like, how many times have we started a season with a pending divorce, and by the end of the season, the divorce is still pending, and then the following season, the divorce is still pending, and then the following season, the divorce is still pending, and then in the off season, we get a blurb that says they're divorced.
Yeah, and they're still not divorced currently. That's why I'm telling you it's going to last all season. It's just going to
great.
be a roller coaster of will they, won't they, will they, won't they, but we know that they won't, so it doesn't really matter. And I think as we stand right now, assuming that there's no news leaks or anything and they are actually divorced, they've now been going through divorce longer than they were married.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Up next, we get to Lisa and Marysol, and she's filling Lisa in on everything that she's missed. And she starts talking about Todd. And Marysol is obviously the closest to Alexia, and she's starting to get concerned about this whole situation. And she's trying to fit this in because Alexia is about to come join them. So she's just giving Lisa like the rundown of, hey, it's back and forth, back and forth. One day she's up, she's down. I'm not really sure. But as we all know, Marysol wants Alexia to get the fuck away from Todd.
Yeah.
So do we all do.
We all do. There are no redeeming qualities to Todd.
No, I have yet to see one.
I actually will go as far to say I like Alexia a lot more, even going through this quote-unquote divorce, than I did when she was with Todd.
Right.
Because when she was with Todd, we spent half of that season just making excuses for Todd.
Yes.
And it was kind of rough to watch because I do like Alexia and I think she's great for the show. And she and Marysol have this great little friendship that really works for the show in a way that I don't really want to see them break up because of something here.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I don't think it's going to get there, but just the fact that Marysol's talking about it so much, it seems like it could drive a wedge between the two of them if she speaks her mind at some point and Alexia's not hearing it.
It could be a reunion issue because Alexia's going to see her talking about Todd so much. That's going to be difficult. I would be heartbroken if those two broke up.
Yeah.
Marysol and Alexia, not Todd and
Not
Alexia.
Todd.
But that will be interesting to see once Alexia watches this all back. But Alexia arrives and they're recapping Milan and everything that happened there. And the Jody accusations. Apparently Jody had yelled at Larsa and it was this whole mess, this whole issue. And Lisa's like, that's bullshit. That never happened. I don't know what's going on. Larsa is manipulative. I don't think that Jody just like went off the rails for no reason.
I don't think he went off the rails.
Did he like raise his voice potentially? Like, I don't know. Like something happened.
there?
Larsa did something that caused a reaction.
That's a possibility. Maybe she made a little dry joke in there or something.
Little AC joke.
Yeah, just like throwing something out there just to say like whatever, and then he got a little upset. I think right now in my mind the most likely situation was the two of them just talked and talked and talked, and he got a little fed up with it. They could have been in a better place because both of them did say, you know, we got to a better place a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Jody walked over and was like, are you serious? Like, can we go do something else? Like, are you just going to sit here and talk about this the whole night? I don't want to do it anymore. And then Larsa could make a little jab because that's
Okay.
what she does. And then he may have said something back, and then that now is exponential, a week or two later, all of a sudden it's Jody was screaming in my face.
That actually tracks.
Yeah,
We've
that's
seen
in
that
my
move.
mind, that's what I think happened. Now, is there AC in Milan? Probably.
I would imagine.
Did he find some AC in Milan? Possibly.
He was hot.
Not really sure what was going on there. But I don't think that, I think that's just like the easy cop out.
For sure, that's the low-hanging fruit.
Look at his eyes, and everybody at the table's like, he kind of looks like that anyway.
He did. The more I've seen that picture, the less damning it is. It's like, that's just how he looks all the time. But juxtaposed to this scene, we get Larsa FaceTiming Jack, who was the dude in Milan, the assistant to the fashion guy or whatever, global ambassador. I forget what his title was.
He's got an agenda too, so.
He just wants to be on TV.
He does.
And it's so catty and like annoying. These scenes suck. I really don't enjoy this because they're going over Lisa, and Jack is saying, well, he can't speak to women like that, alluding to Jody. Hey, man, I don't know who you are. I already don't trust Larsa. I'm not going to trust Larsa's lackey who's on a FaceTime trying to get famous. I'm sorry.
The only thing that we know about him is that he was downright rude to Lisa and Jody during the show.
Correct.
To the point where Lisa was walking out, by the way, with the same company.
Yep.
And didn't even look at her because he was taking selfies with Larsa and putting his flashlight on.
Correct.
So he's already an asshole. He's already basically Larsa's lackey. So why are we supposed to believe this guy?
I don't
We
believe
don't.
this guy at all.
And we shouldn't.
And like they're taking digs at Jody, and it's like, all right, Larsa, where's your man? Whoop,
Whoop.
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 You're talking all that shit. Marcus is gone. So I don't know. I think Jack is going to get on my nerves pretty quickly if he's a recurring character. But again, that's because Larsa has no one to film with.
Yeah.
How many FaceTime talks have we seen?
That's
from
the
her?
problem. Like, it's very telling that the rest of the women don't really want to like work with her.
Right?
They're not going to her apartment. Last year, they were going to her apartment all the time. We even saw it when Alexia and Todd broke up in the beginning of this season, which we didn't really need to see because nothing happened.
Yeah, that was.
They were at Larsa's apartment. So something must have happened because we have not seen anybody go over to Larsa's. Nobody's having one-on-one situations with Larsa unless it's to resolve a problem that Larsa started.
Right.
So we're getting into that weird gray area where we both agree that she's very good for the show, but at some point, if they can't stand her and they don't want to film with her, she's no longer good for the show.
That's a good point.
It's an interesting little razor edge there.
I wonder if we'll get that like later. It's still early.
It's still early. It's just the writing's on the wall already. So
maybe I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch her, but we're back with Lisa, Marysol, and Alexia. And Lisa's like, look, I heard about the party, and I think it's pretty wild that my dad died, and Larsa's talking shit about me. That's pretty crazy. So I had to respond, and I sent a picture to Larsa. What'd you send? My dead dad in the casket.
fucking hilarious.
That's crazy, bro.
hilarious.
That's funny as shit.
I love that she did that.
It's like the best/worst comeback you could ever do. It's like, bam, take a picture.
This is
of
what
your
I'm
dad.
dealing with, and you want to start this bullshit.
She's not wrong.
Larsa's response tells you everything you need to know. Oh my God, praying for you, babe.
Shut up.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Thoughts
By
and
the way,
prayers.
just because Lisa sent you the picture doesn't mean that you didn't know that he died until then. You knew he died a couple of days ago
Exactly.
when Lisa was going up to Canada to go to his funeral.
Exactly.
So now you're going to say, oh my God, praying for you, babe.
Yep.
The best response to that would be nothing.
Just,
Maybe a
yeah.
thumbs down to the.
Oh, that would have been the move. Could you imagine?
And then you can spin it however you want. That was a thumbs down, like to death.
Yeah, I don't like death.
Ooh.
Ooh, death. Maybe we should lighten up a little bit. Let's get to Kiki and Summer. And I love that we're getting to learn more about Kiki this year. She's been a big part of the show for a while, but kind of always an afterthought. And we've always talked about her deserving more time on the screen. So we're finally getting that. And she's with her daughter, Summer. They're going to pick up Kiki's dad. As we know, this dude kicked her out of the house when she was a teenager.
Sure did.
In the rain with a backpack because she was a model.
Yep.
And they equate that to pornography.
Yep.
So that's the dude we're dealing with.
Yes, it is.
As they're driving in this car, and, you know, Kiki's clearly coming to terms with this and trying to figure out how to navigate. I love that she's not just, like, trying to make this dude happy. Like, she's still got her walls up, and she checks him a little bit. She finds out she has another sibling with more potentially on the way.
Yeah.
This guy kind of sucks.
He's up to 7 kids, and he even thought that was a crazy number because he couldn't remember it.
He doesn't know how many children he has.
Active in my life or like
Six,
overall?
7.
7, including you. I don't know.
It's just too much math now. 8.
God,
Oh shit, 9.
I'm not really sure where to go from here. Thankfully, her daughter in the backseat just was a good icebreaker.
Yes, she was.
Hey, this is my name.
He probably forgot
I forgot, but like he also forgot.
because Kiki was
But
talking.
I'm not her grandfather, so
No,
it's
that's a
okay
good
if I
point.
forget.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Kiki's oldest, he doesn't even know what grade he's in, how tall he is, like what he's up to. This guy sucks. But her mom last episode was talking about how important it is in Haitian culture to respect your parents. It's like, isn't there a line?
Yeah.
Is there not a line like dad kicks you out of the house?
We're getting there. There are still generational things going on where, like, yeah, you do have to give your deadbeat dad a chance, I guess.
Sure.
In certain cultures, but in 50 years, probably not.
I just don't see it. Like,
I don't understand
kicked
it.
you out of the
Somebody like
house.
Kiki, but like that's where it comes into like the generational trauma and like all the things that she's gone through
Yeah.
and what it means to her to actually reconnect. Part of it's probably like a reconnect in the sense of look how well I did, even though you
I
kicked
think
me
that's
out.
a big part
I
of it,
think
which is
that's a
cool.
Pretty
I
big
like
part of it,
that.
and she can do it from a good place of I'm still willing to let you in on this part of my life. Like you can
Yeah.
still meet your grandkids. You can still see what I'm doing and like stay close to me, and we can go to lunch and just kind of catch up if you want to do that. She's
Right.
giving him the option. But I do think just based off of Kiki and like how it's going and how like tentative she was even talking to her mom about it, she'll be quick to cut him off if something goes wrong.
I think so.
And she should.
Yeah, no, she doesn't seem like she's handling it poorly at all. Like, it seems like she knows what she's doing. It's just the premise is so wild to me.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that thing shakes out.
And we'll get back to the rest of our episode in just a minute. But first, we've got a few words from our friends over at Prolon. And look, the summer season is here. I went to the beach for the first time this past week. I'm looking around. Everybody looks great. I'm wondering, do I look that great? I know what I need. I know what's going to help me out. And that's Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking program because it is the reset that I need. Whenever I'm not feeling like my true self, whenever I'm not feeling like I'm up to snuff, I need to make sure that I've got my reset. And that always happens with Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking program. It's the best. It's not like a water diet. It's not like some sort of fast that you're maybe used to. It's a completely different thing with their new next gen 5-day fasting mimicking program. Steele and I go to it anytime that we feel like we've just kind of been bogged down for a little bit. You know what I mean?
I've done it 4 times because that's how much I've enjoyed the 5-day fast because it's not a fast. I mean, it's a mimicking fast. So you get food throughout the day. They supply you with soups, snacks, things like that. So it keeps you satiated, but it still has the effects of doing a 5-day fast, which can be beneficial. So this is the best of both worlds.
It absolutely is. And for a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new next gen at special savings. Prolon is offering Bros and Shows listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day nutrition program. Just visit prolonlife.com/bros. That's PROLONLIFE.com/bros to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/bros.
Larsa, Marysol, and Julia get together having some cocktails and meeting Stefanie for the first time. Stefanie doesn't like kids. It's a weird thing to like proclaim to people. I always think when I hear that you don't like kids, it's like it's like when people say they don't like dogs. You know, like just don't tell
say
people.
like I don't want kids.
That's
I've
fine.
never felt like kids fit into my life. That's because that's kind of where she went with it.
And that's
She
fine.
started off with I don't like kids at all.
Yeah, and
Then
then
it was like grubby little paws and stuff
on
like
my
that.
Birkin. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Okay, again, name drop of the
name dropping
designer.
things. Yeah, we get it. Again,
you're rich.
it's the intro, so I'm just
We're
gonna
not going
take
to
it
be
for
too
what it
harsh
is.
on her. It's just
Yeah.
we'll put a pin in it.
We will put a pin in that for now. I have a feeling we're going to remove that pin at some
Yeah,
point.
we're not going to start the graphic with the bottom left corner of all of Stephanie's name drops.
Right.
Yeah.
But it might be coming soon.
It's probably coming this week.
That might
If
actually
it
be kinda
continues this week, we're doing it.
Let's do that. I'm actually into that. We learn about Steph's husband, who is 25 years older. And look, she doesn't want the misconception of a gold digger. Okay? Okay, guys?
Yeah.
That's tough. This is tough.
It's tough because
She works at Shoma, that's his place.
his place. Yeah, Nepo wife. I don't know what to call it that. But She does say, I think, is this where she says, who said, everybody gets a little bit of help or whatever?
No, she said that like
She said it in the
earlier.
beginning, okay.
Yeah,
'cause
but that was
this-
in reference to him helping her.
Yeah, and, looks like he's still helping you. My problem is that she spent so much time talking about how all the things in life, I knew from a young age that I wanted to be rich. Crazy thing to say. Everybody fucking at a young age is like, I would like to have loads and loads of money.
Yeah, I want to be
$1
rich.
million is a crazy number. Let's see how high we can go. Everybody thinks that. But
I
she
still
spent
think that.
so much time. Yeah, exactly. She spent so much time talking about all of the things that she has and where she is in life. When we get to her husband, she only talks about the age disparity.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where is the man?
Is he a private dude? Is that going to be one of the things where we don't really get
So
to know that
sick
much
and tired
about
of
it?
the private people.
I know.
And you know what? A person in his position who's been there since what? She said the early 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe he should be private. I don't want that personally as a viewer of this show.
It makes it tough.
But at least talk about the guy a little bit more. Like, what does he like to have for breakfast?
Does he build the buildings or is he
Do
a
you
commercial
love
realtor?
him? Do you love this man?
Are you
Or
in it for
are
the
you
money?
a gold digger?
Just answer the damn question. Stop lying. But obviously, Julia owns a farm, so then now we have Steph talking about farms. I guess she grew up on a farm in Colombia 3 months out of the year, which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I like
that is
that little
pretty cool.
tidbit. And the group is waiting for Alexia, and she's MIA. And that's Steph's biggest pet peeve, by the way, is people being late and tardy. It's like, okay, we don't know you yet. But we get a text from Alexia.
I run my company. I run my husband's company as a tight ship.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well done. But I guess Alexia's sporting a migraine. She hasn't left bed. Marysol.
Sure.
Marysol picks it up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, she's with Todd.
Yep.
This whole thing, she's with Todd. And that sucks because now she's lying to the group. Now we're seeing things like this is one of the reasons we don't like Todd is that Alexia tends to act differently when she's with Todd.
Yep.
And we like Alexia solo. We love Alexia with Marysol. Todd Alexia kind of sucks. So I don't know. Like at some point, and I know obviously there's only so much you can do when somebody is married to or dating somebody you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
This one's so tough for me because we watched the scene like maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know if that was the first or second episode, but Alexia was at dinner with all of her friends and like torching Todd and like naming all of the things that make Todd bad.
Yeah.
And it was like this little glimmer of hope where it's like, oh, maybe she's got it figured out. And then the next day she's like, Todd's not that bad. We're trying to figure it out. I'm waiting for him. The ball's in his court. So I don't know if at some point like Marysol sits her down and just flat out's like, hey, bro, you got to stop because he sucks. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't see that happening. I would like it to happen if there's no bad repercussions.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to break up. Because I think they are
can't.
great together. But we could get to a point where push becomes shove, where Alexia is just a shell of herself because of this Todd situation, where I'd rather have Marysol step in and do something. And if it ends with, their friendship being on the rocks, I'm okay with that versus Alexia just checking out because Todd's around.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, lesser of two evils.
The one biggest highlight of this cocktail event, though, is Julia, who is enamored with Steph.
Yeah.
All over her, doesn't leave her alone, smiles and laughs at everything she's doing. Again, this is strange to me. This is weird to me, and then when we get to the shower, it continues to be strange to me.
It is very strange, but Steph was also laying it on pretty thick compared
Is
to
that
everybody
'cause
else.
she's in like a new group and she wants to be tight? Is it because like her
was-
husband loves Martina?
That's true. It could be
So-
that. Yeah, that actually really could be the only answer there. But I didn't see her doing this with everybody else. And she was meeting Marysol for the first time. She was talking about Alexia. Her first thought was, I don't like people who are late, and starts questioning her immediately. But Julia here, she goes on about the farm and Martina and all of these things. She was laying it on pretty thick.
Maybe it's that.
Julia is very, very susceptible to going towards somebody who's complimenting her.
That's a good point.
We've seen that in the past where if you're really nice to Julia, she's like, ooh,
Is it
I
that,
love this. I
that
love
plus
you.
wealth
Yeah,
equals Julia is gonna love you?
pretty much. I think so.
That's a bummer because I don't know. I never had that outlook of Julia in the past. I know that she gravitates towards people who are complimentary, but not like a wealth hunter. if you
No.
will.
And I know a lot of people didn't really care for Julia in the last couple of seasons just because she wasn't your cup of tea, whatever. I always liked her just because she was quirky and goofy, and you didn't really know what to expect from her, but in like the best type of way.
Yeah, and she was always herself.
Yeah, she's always herself. She was always very authentic. It rubbed a lot of people in the group the wrong way, but she never really kind of wavered from all of that. And then something happened in this last offseason where she's just completely different. And I don't know if it's the Martina situation with her going through her treatment, plus taking on the 2 boys. Maybe she's just kind of had like a culture shock a bit.
Sure.
Where things are going a little differently and she doesn't know what to do. But I don't know. It's tough because I always liked her.
And that's the whole thing. Any other housewife in any of the franchise, we would be torching them right now. And we're still trying to figure out what happened to Julia.
Yeah. But it's just such a vast change.
I know, it's night
crazy.
and day. Let's get to Julia's shower. And like I said previously, she's big on Steph. She called Adriana and said, hey, I want you to sit Steph right next to me.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah.
Strange. And
Adriana had the right response. I'm
I
putting
did it.
this fucking party on for you. I'm going to sit next to you.
I'll put her across from you.
Yeah, she can be across from you or she can sit next to Martina. I don't care.
It was very strange.
Adriana, good episode for her.
Adriana she's having a good season.
Doing well.
Having a very good
I don't want to
season.
talk too soon.
Oh, we're going to eat these words.
Yeah, I know.
Without a doubt.
He's definitely going to.
I think we did this same thing last year at one point.
I do it every year.
It's hard not to,
Kate
honestly.
Slate, enjoy her for a couple episodes. She does something crazy.
Yeah. Well, Alexia arrives, and she denies vehemently that she was with Todd. She's saying that she had anxiety, she had a migraine. And then she tries to blame Adriana for adding stress with Todd. This is when she starts to lose me. Because what's the problem with Adriana? That she told the truth?
She clocked it?
Every single thing that we questioned Adriana about last season, we're like, is she just talking shit? Turned out to be valid. Yep. So she didn't add stress. She tried to open your eyes because if we know anything, Adriana wants to be besties with Alexia and Marysol.
Yeah. That ship is sailing, but it's been sailing for a while. It's still in the harbor.
I don't think I think it's over the horizon, and she's just chasing after it in like a rowboat. Like, come on.
Oh, I meant from Adriana's perspective, actually.
Oh, I
feel like she's getting to the point now where she's like, all right, this isn't going to happen.
Starting to get over it.
Yeah, but
Perhaps.
Alexia can still swim out there and get the ship.
Okay,
it's not too far away.
So he's in the harbor.
It's there, but it is just annoying as shit. And this is now another time where we're referencing something that happened last season, something that happened in the show, and I guarantee you this is just Todd speaking. Todd is bitching about the show.
Yeah, sure.
He's bitching about how he portrayed himself
right.
on the show and on the backlash that he received. Now he's complaining about Adriana talking about their finances, which is page 1 of any housewife show.
Which Alexia just talked about too, claiming that you
Correct.
rented your entire life.
Correct. Yeah. Oh God, dude, I actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
Joey's dinner or whatever it was. Yeah. I don't get it. And I hate when we see this from a housewife or we see this from, anybody on Bravo where they're just making excuses for this piece of shit like partner that they have.
Yep.
When they're actually a really good person on the show.
Yeah.
It just ruins everything for me.
Especially when it's a guy like Todd.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what we're going to ruin things over?
He's a real Halloweener.
He is a Halloweener.
And I mean that derogatory.
Not a Halloweenist.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Fuck you, Todd. But Steph decides to throw in a little extra here. This was bizarre. We hate Todd, right? But you can't do this. She comes up to Alexia, who she does not know,
Yep.
and says, when God takes out the garbage, leave it. You don't know this person.
I also don't get the analogy.
I do. Like, God.
You think God's going into people's houses? We have a big garbage problem right now in Philadelphia.
Yeah, massive. Literally.
Massive problem. God's not putting that trash out on the street. I'll tell you that. And it is still there. It is being left. So
I think she's
blaming God for that?
Yes. But I think she's alluding to this is a sign. Like, he's divorcing you. Like, get out of there.
Yeah.
But you don't know the situation. I guess she knows barely the situation from Marysol and like
she overheard some stuff and then.
But that's a bold thing to say to somebody you do not know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But Lisa arrives and she stiff arms Larsa. Smell you later. And Guerdy is not around. She's in New York City, so she's not coming to the party. And obviously Lisa's going to feel some type of way about like, not getting invited to have cocktails the other night, but they're saying that's because of Larsa. Don't worry about it. And then Julia arrives and
Stephanie ran over to Lisa when she got there.
That's what I was trying to read. My handwriting's so bad. I was like, Steph runs to Martina and Julia.
Yeah.
So, again, is this a Julia thing? Or is this a Martina thing?
It was odd.
She sprinted over there.
She sprinted over there and she said, please rescue me from the conversations that are going on over there. I guess because Lisa and Larsa were kind of starting to be brought up and we're still talking about Alexia and Todd. I don't blame her for all of that, but it was just weird.
Yeah.
She's laying it on so thick. And again, Julia's going to fall for that no matter what it is.
She falls hard for it. And we got
that's her new best friend.
It's, dude, I don't know. This is a very confusing season.
Yeah.
But the shower starts, and Adriana leads us off with a toast, as she always does so well. And then we got to watch a scene from Bridesmaids play out.
This was awesome.
Alexia gets up there and tries to one-up the speech. While she's trying to one-up the speech, Adriana jumps in and gets her. She goes, my friendship with Julia began 3 years ago. Mine's over a decade, everybody. Okay, cool.
Okay.
This was literally a scene from Bridesmaids.
It was, yeah. It absolutely was. And I wouldn't expect, I was actually very surprised when Alexia got up to do that.
I was surprised that she kept going.
I was not surprised that Adriana stepped in to then double up a little bit more.
That was standard.
Alexia getting up to go give a speech was odd.
This is a weird season.
It's a weird tug of war going on with these friendships, and I don't know what to make of it.
I'm Team Larsa.
Yeah. It's better to have no friends.
Exactly. We get the poop in the diaper game, and I have such a pet peeve when things like this happen, or it's like clearly a joke and somebody like gags.
Yeah.
Like, grow up.
Lisa gags.
She throws up.
Stephanie says it got all my Versace.
Ugh.
Like,
ooh, like that kind of line. That's where I draw the line.
You know that it's not poop.
Yeah, it's not poop,
Like,
guys.
handle it like Kiki handled it.
Thank you.
Taste it.
Just taste it.
Sniff it.
Lean into the game and just fucking do it. Like, it's so childish to me that you see fake poop in a diaper. You're like, ugh,
Yeah.
ugh, on my,
Although it was very odd. It wasn't chocolate.
No, she mixed. I thought it was.
She was mixing a lot of weird shit.
People had different diapers.
Yeah, they
you had
did.
to like decipher what was in your diaper.
Yeah, and it was never what you would think it is. Like
No.
sometimes you would make it into like a dessert, maybe. Maybe it's brownie batter. I don't know.
That would have been funnier.
Instead, it was like fucking
Peanuts and corn and
peanuts,
like,
corn with mixed with like sage and
it was like
ground
shit
beef.
you would
It's
find
like,
in
what the
shit.
fuck? Yeah.
Which is,
No, she actually, I think that's the approach that she took. She's like, this is what babies eat, and this is how it works. Like, I don't think babies eat corn necessarily.
not
kind of a tough
corn,
one to
not off the
digest.
cob. I don't think
Yeah,
there's no nutritional value to corn, so it'd be
Yeah,
worthless.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue that conversation. But like the way that Adriana tried to approach it was, well, yeah, because babies eat a lot of this, and there's like carrot puree in here, and this and that, and like I tried to be a little authentic. It's like you got close.
It's pretty
to putting
close.
poop in there, didn't you?
I wouldn't be surprised if one diaper had real
Just
poop.
Alexia's.
Yeah,
Just
oh my
had
God,
actual
just
poop in it.
like one perfect log.
Would not be surprised. Wow, this is incredible. It smells like
Then
poop. Ugh.
you could throw up.
Yeah.
But Lisa throwing, like, grow up, dude. I hated that. That really pissed me off. That's the kind of stuff that just,
Yeah.
it aggravates me to no end. But we're going to play Truth or Dare, because why wouldn't you play Truth or Dare at a baby shower? And the question is to Lisa, who would you want to have a threesome with? I don't even know. Did she sidestep it?
She pretty much sidesteps it.
But Martina, this is more that we've gotten from Martina
Uh-huh.
since she's been on the show.
Yep.
She chimes in and brings up a threesome, implying that her and Julia have had threesomes before.
Mm-hmm.
And Martina's like, yeah, she's not that into it, but sign me up. Like, Martina's stoked about this whole premise. So then they ask, okay, Julia, who would you have in your threesome? Before the question was even finished, she said Steph.
Before she even said her wife,
Yes.
she said Steph.
Steph first, Martina second.
I guess if I have to, I'll include.
Mm-hmm.
Martina can watch.
Yeah, but that was actually funny listening to Julia recap her threesome experience. She's
Yeah.
like, one person sits and watches. It's like, oh, can I get you guys anything? It's like, it's just an awkward situation. And the next question, we're going to Truth to Larsa. This was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest mistake you ever made, Larsa? Probably that I'm too loyal.
Just too loyal.
Are you fucking
As
kidding me?
Fabulous said in Milan, too loyal.
Too loyal? Like, the last thing I would use to describe Larsa Pippen is loyal.
Just like take a little bit of responsibility.
Yes.
Maybe my last relationship.
There you go.
Getting in too deep with Marcus.
Yeah. Starting
Then
a
everybody can be like,
podcast.
all right, cool. And if somebody has some shit to say, then you can go after them.
Correct.
Fair. You're bringing it to the table. You're at least taking some ownership of the issue. That was a pretty big mistake on my part. Nope. Too loyal.
Starting a
To who?
podcast with Marcus.
Yeah.
Anything you did with Marcus could have worked.
Really anything.
But you decided to say that you're too loyal to a fault, as we all know Larsa Pippen to be.
Loser.
Yeah, let's get to dinner, though, and Lisa is hammered, clearly, and she's making some off-color jokes about being friends with Stefanie because she's got money, and obviously, Stefanie thinks that's a little bit rude, but I, personally, appreciated the honesty.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Emphasis on the truth.
I'm okay with it. Like,
there.
I'm going to be tight with you because you have a PJ on call.
That's exactly what it is.
Just say
this
what it is.
Now, the second time that we've seen Lisa pretty wasted this season.
Well, she's going through a lot.
Is she?
Her dad just died.
Oh, I forgot about the picture.
Was that a bit?
If we didn't have picture, it was not a bit. No, I'll turn it into a bit. But if we didn't have picture evidence, then I wouldn't know if he actually.
What happened?
What do you mean? What happened? I don't know. Well, I mean, she was in Milan like a couple days before he died. You know, interesting decision there by Lisa.
Look, we did say when Larsa dropped that one on her, it's like that was mean as shit. But
It is pretty true.
she's not wrong though.
She's not wrong.
No, not at all. But it's wild to me that Larsa, the things that she gets upset about always blow my mind because she's pissed off that somebody told Lisa what happened at the dinner. And then says she should be grieving. Then don't talk shit about her while she's supposed to be grieving.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
It's just incredible that she's able to go from texting, praying for you, to now saying you should be grieving. You shouldn't be doing any of this stuff right now.
And she says, like, she doubles, triples, quadruples down. And she's like, I would never stress her out during this time. Oh, okay. So you talk shit behind her back.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't count.
That you know is going to get back to her.
That you assume, then you get mad that it does get back to her.
And then she has something to say about it.
And your response to her having an opinion about you talking shit is you weren't supposed to hear that. You're the problem. Now you should be grieving. That's crazy.
You know, when you put it like that on like a storyboard,
Are you team Larsa?
it's a pretty good strategy.
Oh, it's
an incredible, like she's so good at that.
She's great at what she does.
Because now you're sort of villainizing the person who was going through those things.
Yes.
But it's all you're doing. I'm not saying you killed her dad. I'm saying,
Oh my God.
What I'm saying is that you put all of this on her and then talked behind her back. And then when she comes back, you're prepped. You're ready to go.
No, look.
Why are you coming after me? You should be grieving. Then you have to question like how she actually feels. And then if she goes even further, then you're like, okay, you were in Milan a couple days before he died. You knew he was gonna go soon.
It's snaky.
She's got it all set up. It's incredible. That like they fall for it every time.
I know. And like that's the thing that I will always credit. That's why I say that she's good for the show. She's a great housewife because she's able to put that whole thing together. And she always has a contingency plan.
Yep.
And we always talk about how important contingency plans are when you're going to stir the pot. Larsa always has an out. It's not always a good out, but she is so steadfast in it that I think she's
She's
believes
unshakable.
it. She really is. She's
It's
immovable.
and it's awesome too for her. Awesome, and I don't think it's awesome, but it's awesome for Larsa because she's so unable to move from whatever it is that she thinks is right.
Yep.
That she never actually concedes or thinks that she lost
Or apologizes.
or apologizes, which would be a concession. She just never has to do that because she always thinks that she's in the right.
Yep.
It's a crazy brand of delusion.
She does it very
Damn
well.
good at it. Honestly, that's what she should trademark. Larsa's delusion. Nobody can even get close to it. It's like trade secret.
Larsa. What did I call her before? Larsistic?
Larsistic.
That's her podcast.
Really good one.
I know. That should be her podcast. But we already trademarked it.
trademarked it.
Copyright.
Larsa,
all those
listening.
good things. So don't even try it. But Julia asks the group, and not to mention all of that conversation happened while Lisa was like in the bathroom. So once again, you're talking shit behind her back at the party that she's at now. So hopefully she gets wind of it so she can defend herself.
She's getting so much closer to doing it to her face.
I know. Just inching slowly closer.
Canada. It was almost going to happen in Milan. Now we're at least in the same city.
Now
but
we're in
we're
the same
bathroom.
venue.
Next week it could be face to face.
God, we
or
hope
like
so.
one group versus the second group, and you're talking from there. Yeah,
Don't threaten me with a good
overhear
time.
it. Oh.
Hell yeah, brother. But Julia asks the group, who else is amazed that someone told Lisa? Why? How is there any defense of Lisa finding out what happened?
Yeah, I don't really get that.
You guys all talk shit.
Yeah.
Why is it bad?
Do you
that
think
it got
that
back
Julia
to her?
knew that Gertie did it, and that's why?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
No, she's not that calculated.
I don't.
Julie has a lot of things. She's
But
changing a
different
lot
this year.
She's very different, but like I think that's just something that she doesn't have.
I just don't understand why the concern is about who told her.
Yeah.
Why is that the problem? Not who has the balls to talk shit about someone who's at her dad's funeral.
It's not like somebody shared news with someone else and then someone spilled the beans.
Right.
There wasn't a secret in there. This was talking shit behind someone's back,
Exactly.
which should just be a free reign.
I don't. It's very confusing to me, but Guerdy is the one that told Lisa because Lisa deserved to know 100%. Larsa, I don't even know what she said, just starts being, no, you're not supposed to. I understand. Then don't talk shit. At the end of the day, if you don't want to get back, don't talk shit. Especially, you've been on these shows for a long time. You know it always comes back to the person you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense to me, but
We're going to have to be Team Gertie, Lisa, probably.
yeah, honestly.
That's where it's kind of pushing at this point.
I know. It's pretty
Which
nuts.
I'm okay with. I'm fully fine with that.
I like to mix it up. You
Yeah.
know, try a new allegiance this
need.
year. Who knows what'll happen? And everything goes to shit because now Lisa's starting to cry and she's drunk. So now she's getting upset that the focus is on her and her dad. And she literally says, she's like, this is supposed to be about your baby. I don't want it to be about me and my dead dad. And it's a funny scene. And like, not because of that, but she's like,
I couldn't help but laugh at it, honestly.
it's hard not to.
I feel for her because she's definitely going through it, but
Sure.
like, it's fucking funny.
She's just because of what she's saying.
Yeah.
Like, this song's supposed to be about me and my dead dad. It's supposed to be at the babies. This is about the babies. And it is. And this is the second event in a week's span that has been ruined by talking shit about Lisa.
Yeah. You know what it brought? It actually brought me back to like Jax and Lala talking about dead dads.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how dare you?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And, like, nobody's really talking about her dad. They're just talking about her.
Yeah, I
Talking
know.
about her boyfriend.
I remember that.
It's like, yeah, you can bring up the grieving thing, but even that's like kind of next to going after it.
Adjacent.
Yeah. Like, no one's really calling her out because her behavior is different because her dad died.
Yeah.
So it's close. I don't know.
But the episode ends with a very ironic statement because Larsa is now upset at Gertie for telling Lisa. How many times has Larsa done the exact same thing and thrown somebody else under the bus to get in somebody's good graces or to simply stir the pot? And now she has an issue because she's the one that talks shit and she got caught.
Happens
Bravo.
every year. A couple times a year, actually.
I know, this is just the first one. We probably got 3 or 4 more this
Yeah, at
season
least.
alone. But now we're caught up. We are back on track with Miami, so you get 2 Miami episodes this week. But let's get to some questions.
From Mosh Pit Goddess, why does nobody stand up for Gertie?
It's very bizarre.
I
It's
don't
so
Get
bizarre.
it. I hope we're not going to get a weird production edit where they make her seem like a bad person.
If there's not actual evidence of
kinda
her
fucked.
being shady, like, I don't understand what the fuck's going on. Like, we need some concrete evidence that, because the other thing is, like, the only claim we have is that she's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
This whole group is a lot. So that one doesn't track for, that's not enough to see the whole group kind of turn their back on Gertie, who goes to bat for everybody else.
Yeah. No, I don't really understand it because Gertie seems to be, like you said, the only one who can see through the bullshit and get to a logical standpoint and then at least try to help them out when they need it. Because how many times do we see housewives on this show completely out on an island? Larsa of her own making. Everybody else, they kind of just get left hanging out. And Gertie usually is the one who tries to help them out a little bit. From DM Jazzwall, do you think that the show needs Nicole back to be the voice of reason and to support Gertie?
I would
Show
love that.
needs that a lot. Don't know if Nicole needs that.
She doesn't. She doesn't need this show.
Yeah.
But God, we need her. I miss Dr. Nicole very, very much.
Yeah.
She was the final piece of this show's puzzle.
Yeah.
So I hope she comes back. There was inklings that she may return next season. I don't know, but God, I hope so.
Yeah. I think we need her back, honestly. This is really funny. From Zoe Kudlapole. Steph leading meetings was giving Mia straightening brochures as the CEO. Yeah. That I always love those like let's just get everybody into a boardroom and we're going to act like we're really going over something because you're really going to show what your company's doing on a TV show.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's like that, remember the guy who did his Spend a Day With Me video? Ashton something or whatever.
Oh.
He gets up at like 4 and like does the
What's
ice
his
bath
name?
and everything.
He does it's the blue bottle of Saratoga water. Ashton Hall.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets on the phone. He's like, I'm going to need at least 10,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what you get in every Bravo show when somebody's like, I've got a business. Check it out. We're doing meetings. It's like, that's not a real meeting.
Here's a memo.
These poor people that are just standing there smiling because they get to go be on TV.
Yeah, we have a meeting at 11 in the conference room. What's it about? I don't know. And then they get there, it's just cameras. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, we're doing this.
Boss's wife again.
Yeah. From Mama 2 Lil C. Do you think it's time to make Kiki more than just a friend of the cast? She's great this season.
Yes.
I think so. We've said we wanted more from her. If this is what we're getting, then yes. And I wonder if she's doing more to get more, if you know what I mean.
I think so. I think this is probably a trial run of okay, you're going to have more of a center stage role this season, see how that goes, and then we'll put you as a full-time next year. But the other thing with Miami specifically, I don't know if they'll do that just because Marysol is a friend of, but she is full-time on the screen. She's involved with everybody's business. She knows what's going on. She has opinions about it. We see her just as much as everybody else. We have individual scenes with her. We had her wedding this year, but she's been a friend of. And I don't know if that's because she doesn't care enough to be a full-time housewife. I don't know what the deal is, but just because of that formula, I don't know if Kiki gets promoted because they highlight friends of.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we'll do one more here because it seems like there's a lot of the same questions in here, but pick the one that best depicts what we need to talk about. That's from NerdyBird315. Thoughts on Dr. Nicole alleging that Marysol hired a PI to follow them, and that's why she left the show. We've heard this before. I don't know if she specifically said Marysol. I think people are kind of...
No, Marysol was brought up about the PI at some point.
Yeah, but I don't think Dr. Nicole said that specifically.
I don't know if she did. I remember the PI allegations.
Well, she did a podcast like earlier this or last week.
I thought I saw it on TV.
That was also on TV. But they talked about it at a reunion about somebody hiring a PI.
That's what it was.
And looking into like Anthony's background and all that shit.
Yeah.
But she went on a podcast last week, and I wish I remembered who it was so I could give them credit. But she was just talking more about the PI and how it made her really uncomfortable and how she just didn't feel like it was necessary anymore. Again, I don't know if it was Marysol. I don't think that housewives should be. That's a step too far.
That's where you're getting into Louis
friends
territory.
And yeah, that's Louis territory exactly. If you have friends that have overheard things, we always love a good rumor, especially when it's going to spice things up. Fine. Hiring a PI is insane.
Yeah, we don't need a dick.
No, we do not. But yeah, that's all I got for the questions.
Well, stay tuned, everybody. I'm not really sure what the hell to make of this season yet. I still enjoy it. It's a great show.
Oh, it's still very enjoyable.
But as far as like predictions or anything of the sort, I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing. We're seeing like a 180 of what we're used to.
Yep.
So that's fun. Like
It can be fun, yeah.
It's a new glance at the show.
As long as the Julia Gertie stuff doesn't just drag on with no
They need resolve soon.
Or maybe not even resolution. It's just like more evidence.
Clarity
on what the fuck we're dealing with.
Clarity would help.
But that's really the only thing I could see dragging on.
Yeah.
Everything else seems fresh. Seems new. I like it.
That's fair. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
That's our show. Bros gotta go.